What do I need to make wine?
Yeah, you need some things to produce wine at home. Very important is your glass jug or glass jugs, because your fermentation starts in this glass jug. And so you need 3 glass jugs. It's the best if you have 3, but it's also okay if you have only 2 ones. So it's very important to have at minimum 2 glass jugs, because if you make the racking process, you need another glass jug to fill the wine in. So it's very good to have 2 glass jugs, but it's okay if you have more. So you can store your wine in it and so on. So it's very important to have a glass jugs at home. And then you need wine airlocks, so that you can close your wine jugs. You put it on your wine jug, so there cannot come air inside or some animals or something like this. So it's very good to protect your wine in the jugs. So airlocks are important to have. Yeah, then you need something for the racking process. So for example, a racking cane or a siphon, or it's also okay to have a vinyl hose. So but I think it's better to use automatic racking cane. It's the best. It's very practical, and you can buy it on the internet. It's not so expensive. It's very good to have it. Yeah, then you need, of course, wine bottles. If you start with bottling, if you have produced your wine, you need something for bottling. So you need wine bottles, you need corks or screw caps, so what you prefer. And if you use corks, you need a wine corker or bottle corker, yes. And then you need something for your bottle decoration. So you can use heat shrink capsules for your wine, so it's looking better, your wine bottles. And
Label.
yeah, of course, yes, you need a label, so you can buy some labels in the internet. Yes, and what else do you need? Yeah, you need a plastic bottle filler. You can buy one in the internet. It's not so expensive if you use a normal plastic bottle filler, or if you use a machine, a bottle filling machine. It's a little bit expensive, but if you use a big amount of wine grapes, or you want to produce a lot of wine, it's easier to use an automatic wine filler. It's like a machine, but it's also okay if you use a plastic one. You can do it, of course, with a hose, but it's not so practical. So use a wine filler, it's the best. Yeah, and then you need a wine press, crusher, and something like for destemming. If you have a lot of grapes, it's very practical to have a wooden wine press, for example, and a destemming machine and a crushing machine. So it's very practical. But if you make only 5 gallons of wine, so 20 liters or something like this, it's okay if you don't have it. So you can crush and press and destem everything by hand. It's okay. So if you make not so much wine, it's okay if you don't have it. So it's not important to have. If you make a big quantity of wine, it's better to have a wine press and something like this. Yeah, then you need a wine filter. If you want to fill your wine without additives, without preservatives like potassium sorbate, it's very wise to use wine filter, but you don't need it anymore. So if you want to use the gravitation, you can wait until your wine is clear and settle down everything, and then you can fill it. So you don't need a wine filter. So it's also, if you make a big quantity of wine and you want to make it very professional, it's okay if you use it, a wine filter, but it's not necessary to use. Yeah, so you can use with additives and something like this to stabilize your wine in the bottle, so there's no fermentation starting in your bottle. And you can do it with potassium sorbate, but you will learn it in our course. We will talk about it. Yes, and then you need something for measuring and testing your wine. So you need to measuring and testing your acidity and your sulfur content in your wine. It would be very good if you have something like this. So, because if you want to lower your acidity or higher your acidity, it's very good if you know how many grams per liter acidity is in the wine or in the must, in the juice. Yeah, so it's great to have a testing set for it. Yes, and then you need a micro scale to know how much you put into your wine of these additives. And then of course you need grapes, you need sugar if you want to higher the alcoholic content in your wine. Yes, you need potassium sorbate if you don't use a wine filter, and you need potassium metasulfite to get sulfur in your wine and to clean everything. So it's very good. You can use it as a cleaner. Yes, you need yeast, of course, and then you need bentonite and gelatin and something like this, and that's it. Then you can making wine.